fairly rare here, and as you'll see from the title, today I'm with you for an unboxing. I'm very excited. I have actually opened the box and had a look through the little envelope that came on top, and if you're interested to see, it's just a little, seems to be like recycled paper envelope, and we have a card for Little Red Tarot. We have an off print, a wonkily printed card from the This Might Hurt Tarot. The backing is off center, so I guess I could use this as a bookmark. It's always handy. I'll put it in a crafting project. I have a deck interview spread postcard with prompts on the back, and then a postcard, a little promo postcard for the alternative tarot course, which I think this is, it's been through some evolution over the years. I did the sort of the OG version back in the day. I still have the printouts for that actually in my big tarot binder. But I've not done the current iteration of it. But I recommend it if it's as good as the original one that I did. Well, I imagine it is. So yeah, that was just what was in there. And yes, as you will see from the title, this is Zeke's Arcana, and I am very excited. I haven't looked. I haven't looked in underneath this paper. So ASMR moment and or misphonia moment. Cover your ears. If you've got headphones on, take them out. If you don't like crumply paper noises, if you don't have headphones in, if you don't have headphones in, you can cover your earlugs, innit? Ooh, rustle, rustle, crumple, crumple. Oh, I love it. There's like squashed bits of like cardboard, and Beth Maiden uses lots of like recycled packaging and things to package stuff. Oh, it's in hot pink. I'm so excited. So a little bit first about this purchase. So I put together, I didn't get as much Christmas and birthday money this year for a number of reasons which are perfectly understandable, and you know, I don't mind. It just means that I can't usually do my usual big deck spree that I tend to do sort of at the front of each year, at the top of each year. So with this smaller Christmas and birthday money pot, I had to be very selective about, well, I'm always selective, but I had to be extra selective about which deck I was buying. Now this deck, the artist, I have on and off watched her videos over the years, her art channel over on YouTube. I don't know if it's still going because I usually log into the art videos on my other YouTube account where I used to put art videos, my art videos I mean. And I remember seeing that she was doing a video doing a tarot deck, and I was very excited because I was already a fan of her artwork, and I kind of watched the creation of it and over on Instagram and stuff like that. It was really exciting. And then the Kickstarter hit, but it came at a time, as a lot of Kickstarters often do, at a time where I couldn't really commit to it, back it, and I was kind of gutted. And then there was a couple of times where the artist did some sales on the deck, and I was like, oh, that's a really good deal. There was one point where the deck would have worked out to about £35, but once you put the shipping and the customs on, it still would have probably come to about £75, I don't know. So I was like, well, that's still a lot, and I understand that they're like, it's still a really good deal on an indie deck, but I'm often in a position where I'm on a really tight budget, so I have to be really finicky about what I'm spending money on. Anyway, all that is to be said, all that said, I'm struggling with words today, most of the time, but extra so today, so just keep that in mind. I'm a bit brain foggy, so stuff might come out a bit garbled, I might stutter, I might just completely forget what I'm saying. That's the squirrel brain side of things. Anyway, so I was super excited when I saw that Beth Maiden had been stocking this on Little Red Tarot. I hadn't had a look on Little Red Tarot for ages. I hadn't looked at the Boutique London for ages, because if I'm not in a position to buy decks, I try not to look at what they have in stock, because it just makes me go, but I want them, and just makes me feel bad. So I wait until I'm actively looking for a deck and see what they have. My concern was that the artist said that she, either at the end of last year or at the beginning of this year, that she's no longer going to be like doing vending stuff. Like she's not going to be selling stuff, like products of her artwork. She had a whole thing with like this, people stealing her artwork and using AI and stuff like that. It's been a whole thing that a lot of artists struggle with. It's really awful. I think she's had enough, and she's just going to be selling her actual artwork, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. But my concern was, like, I know I tend to veer more to Marseille and Pip decks, and there are a number of independent Marseille and Pip decks that I really, really want and have wanted for a while. But because I was concerned that this deck would no longer be available once the copies that, you know, at least the UK vendors have sell out, they might not be restocking it. I thought, well, this is more of an emergency purchase, and I'm hoping that things like the Pip Speak Tarot, which was released in December, I believe it was, or November last year, is still going to be available for a while and throughout the rest of the year. And things like the Estrella Tarot, because Ash Estrella released a second updated edition of her deck. I'm hoping that will still be available throughout the year. The Taroki 23 by Tarot Midnight. I'm hoping that those decks that I'm sort of lusting after are still going to be, they're not at risk of going out of print. This is a really long-winded way of saying I bought this one in front of other ones that I might have wanted beforehand, because I'm worried it's going out of print. And it's on my list, so I've wanted it. I just very much up my street. And it's weird, right, because I've been reading with a lot more Smith-Waite based decks recently, and towards the second half of last year, which is a change for me. I still read with Marseille and Pip decks, but I mean sort of, I'm reading more with Smith-Waite based decks. For example, the Fyodor Pavlov, which I got for Christmas. God, this is very noisy. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Oh my god, my tummy is grumbling. I'm so sorry if you can hear my tummy. I should have eaten a snack before I started this. So, what was I saying? So yeah, this deck seems to be Smith-Waite based, but there are some cards that are quite Pippish, and I couldn't work out if it was because the artist was getting a little like tired, and these were cards that were done towards the like end of the project, and so they became more Pippish, or if it's just, I don't know, if it's a very deliberate choice. I don't know. I don't blame them either way, because the idea of creating a deck, as much as I would stop grumbling, sorry, I don't know why I'm telling it to stop grumbling. It's not like that's going to make it stop grumbling, but yeah, like creating 78 cards is such a huge undertaking. So anyway, show. Now the problem is it is so sunny today, and yet it's not really shut. Hang on, let's pop this on. Is that a bit better? It's just I'll be super pasty pale. It's got like not a holographic, like a holographic foily thing, embossing. So let's read the back. Oh my god. I've seen people that like have this deck, and I've been like so envious. Like Logan at Larkin Legend shared this on their channel. I was like, oh, it's so pretty. Escape into a vibrant and nostalgic dimension. There is a world beyond our imagination out there. In that world you will find open skies lined with hope and marshmallow pink clouds. There, alien creatures speak of destiny, wonder and adventure. Zeke's Arcana is a wonderful reinterpretation of the classic Rider-Waite tarot deck, lovingly painted by the artist Zeke. Zeke's Arcana contains everything you need to read the tarot. A unique guidebook, the familiar 78 card deck, plus 2 brand new cards that were created just for this box. Reimagine your future. Ah, muy exciting. Okay, so it's got like just a little just a lift off lid, no finger hole cutouts, but it's not really, it's like comes off really easily, not to the point where it's just going to fall off, but like it's got a nice air suction. to it. Oh, there's a nice ribbon, and it's a nice ribbon as well. We've got the book on the top. I didn't realise it came with like the little book. It's like a proper little book. Oh, it's so cute. Oh my god, oh, look at the eyeball flower. This is so my bag, right? This is the thing. I'm super into dark, creepy, spooky, gnarly, weird stuff, but I also love unicorns and rainbows and glitter and pink and like lilac and turquoise and all those lovely like yummy colours. So this is weird and colourful. It's like Lisa Frank, but it's got that like Lisa Frank bright colours, but like less cutesy, more surrealism, a bit more sort of weird. So yeah, I'm really excited. This feels like it encapsulates a lot of my interest. Oh, I've just seen the pink foil sides. Holy moly! I mean, you know, it's so shiny. It's so shiny. It's got just the little plastic belly band, and the packaging, it's sitting in like a foam to keep it soft. It's like a little foam bed. So yeah, this is the full, right at the top there, obviously. Not obviously, because not all decks actually come in order, as I've discovered over the years. Oh, the cardstock is thicker than I thought it was going to be, and matte, but it doesn't feel like it's going to stick to itself. So the back is gorgeous. It's got these bugs, and then it's like hollow foil. This is going to be a whole thing. I'm going to need to get a little bit more light so we can show the shininess. Ooh, okay, so we're gonna dig in. I'm gonna do my walkthrough and first impressions. I have seen walkthroughs of this, but the last one was probably at least 2 or 3 months ago, so, and my memory is bobbing, so I will remember cards more than others. And like I said, I did follow the sort of creation of this, but seeing it all in its entirety in person is a whole different experience. So the Fool. That's interesting. Look at got 2 different shoes on. One looks like a sort of a slip-on, and then a chunky heel, platform heel. And they've got this like, I don't know, is that a D12 or a D20 shaped bag? Polyhedral bag. And then they've got like a weird polyhedral head thing going on. Not hedral, because it's not a hexagon. A triangle? Is that a word? I don't know. And the rose they're carrying, there's a rose involved, but it's huge, and you can see the sort of, there's this half dressed in this like this back leg here in this sort of fool motley, and then instead of a dog we've got this little bug that is so cute. I mean, it's so strange, isn't it? We've got a bit of a like Madonna cone bra situation going on as well. Okay, the Magician is a monkey. Oh, I've just reminded myself that I saw the trailer for Monkey Man, Dev Patel's new film. I'm so excited. I love Dev Patel, and not just because he's pretty, but because I do love Dev Patel. But like, I'm so excited for him getting his like directorial debut. There we go. I've already like side quest. But anyway, we've got the Magician who has multiple arms. 4 arms to hold all the 4 suits swinging from the trees, and then they sort of hoop swinging through the lemniscate. The lemniscate's almost like a lasso, and it's sort of just slightly becoming unraveled, but it's starting to create another lemniscate up here. That's interesting. I love the like sort of, look at the swords. It's very like, again, Sailor Moon-esque. High Priestess, and her throne is a pomegranate. I mean, so you mean it's like pop surrealist Rider-Waite Smith? And there's like the carpet looks like it's like a long lavender shag pile. It's really fluffy. Come on, camera. The texture, look at all that texture. Oh wow. Oh wow. The Empress. Ugh. Another pregnant Empress, but I guess, you know, I'm just gonna have to make my peace with the fact that that's gonna be a common thing, especially if people are going by the Rider-Waite Smith. The Emperor is interesting, a bit like the Fool. We've got like some kind of, well, it's the head is is crystal or gemstone. We've got this very strange looking ram that's got a leg that then ends in what looks to be like a point of amethyst or something. Oh, it's so weird. It's so weird. I love it. The Hierophant, who has like sort of very hairy legs. Come on, come on. And the keys are on the floor, and the supplicants appear to be some kind of bizarre peacock-esque, excuse me, oh, in Shortigan, peacock-esque, bug-esque creatures. I don't know, very weird. Are they just bugs with weird protuberances? Oh, it's so strange. I love it. I mean, you're either gonna like really enjoy this deck or it's gonna completely like weird you out, but like in a not fun way. Okay, the lovers. This is interesting because we have 3 characters. We have what appears to be an angel, but the angel is fucking huge. And then the lovers are like these swan-headed characters. Interesting. And they both look like they have breasts. And we've got this nod to sort of the Garden of Eden and the snack, the danger noodle, and the, oh, it's so cool, and the apples. Interesting, interesting. Oh, okay, and then it seems, I've just realised, it seems that there's like, the artist is doing their own kind of numbering system. That'll be interesting to look at in the book. The Chariot, I'd forgotten. This was one of the ones that I'd seen that I just really enjoyed. And reminded me a little bit of the, oh no, I'm thinking of a different deck now, I'm getting confused. I was thinking of the Tower card from the Fae Tarot, the Fae Tarot, where there's that castle in the sky. But no, it does put me in mind of that, but it's, yeah. And some of the colours of that deck match the colours in this deck. That deck isn't quite so pink, it has more blues to it. Look at these unicorn things with weird insecty front legs. Look at that. Isn't that just so weird? Oh, I love it. And this rider is, looks like they're coming out of some like trans-dimensional portal. And they've got like a chicken butt or like a harpy. Like a, you know, like the original idea of a harpy. Oh, that's very cool. I'm going to be saying that a lot throughout this video. We have the Strength card. We have a pink tiger. We have, I should have said at the beginning of this video, by the way, content warning for nudity, but I forgot, and you know, I'm sure if anyone saw boobs and didn't want to look, they would have already switched off, so yes, nudity. I don't really have an issue with it if it's in context, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying people should go around indecently exposing themselves, but what I mean is generally nudity does not really bother me. So the Hermit is a space person, and their lamp is again a whacking great bit of crystal. If you're really into crystals and gemstones, this deck's gonna probably be for you. Again, if you like pop surrealist or lowbrow artwork, you're probably going to enjoy this. If you enjoy really bright colours, or like Lisa Frank but make it grown up, you're probably going to enjoy this. Yeah, it's the colours are just, I'm blown away. I knew it was going to be bright and colourful, but this is just something else. This is cool. Look at this interpretation of the wheel. This is really something different, isn't it? We've got this character leaning over with the wheel, a bit like Atlas having the world on their shoulders, right? We've got this nod to Anubis on their arm, on their leg, who is obviously a psychopomp. That's interesting. They've got something going on with their hair. There's some sort of structure over their head. Maybe it's pieces of this, is it a labyrinth or is it a maze? It looks like a maze, and we've got this sort of snake winding through it, and then all these like sort of astrological symbols on these coins, these This one looks to be, yeah, look at them, gorgeous. Wow. And then they've got like Egyptian, they've got a pharaoh, what appears to be a pharaoh tattooed onto their leg there. Oh, it's really interesting. What an interesting take. Okay, Justice is at 11 because it's a Smithwaite based deck. Justice has some banging boots on. Look at these, fucking cool as shit boots. Oh, yes. Weighing scales, and blindfold is some kind of like metal spiky number. And look at that sword again, it's like got that whole magical girl vibe, but oh my god, and it's like a dual blade. Oh, this makes the D&D player in me really happy as well, like fantasy swords. And it's got real like cyberpunk vibes as well. Oh, I've seen that cyberpunk deck. I saw Sylvie at like Tarot Magpie talking about that deck in a video from last year, and then she was sharing the like guidebook that you can buy separately for it. I'm just like, oh my god, and then it has like a D&D component to it that you can play. I missed completely, that one completely flew over my head. I never saw that Kickstarter at all. Absolutely gutted to have missed that one. The Hangman is a bat. Look how cute he is. Look. Oh, you know when people say, oh, I like bats, but I don't like those ugly fruit bat looking ones. Is it a fruit bat or is it a vampire bat? But I think they're cute as well. Look at his little face. Come on, that's a cutie. He's wearing a little suit, little sort of blazer and tie situation. Look at this, he's coiled up in a snake. I didn't realise that. It's not a rope, it's a snake. Lots of snake imagery, and the snake has two heads again, which puts me in mind of like Skull Garden type artwork as well. The death card involves a really big caterpillar, but it makes me think of the caterpillar from A Bug's Life. You know, the one that like becomes a butterfly at the end. Spoilers. But like that film's at least 20 years old, so. Oh, there's like they got the heads at the bottom there. Contemporary-ish looking heads. This guy here, he looks quite 80s. His hair. Look at them there. Yeah, so you got all the butterflies, which is a nod to the caterpillars, and you got the idea of cycle and change and that kind of thing. And instead of the death riding the horse, death is a centaur, which I just again. I mean, okay, we have Temperance is a clownfish headed person, and their wings appear to be made of like seaweed, maybe. Come on. You see, it looks like seaweed or some kind of like oceanic plants. And then there's like things like little details like the symbols there on the trousers, right? So you've got elemental symbols, you've got like the symbol for both Mars and Venus, because of the idea of the Temperance being represented in a lot of cards by Hermaphrodite, the deity Aphrodite, not Hermaphrodite. So interesting. We have the Devil, who is giving me like Black Phillip meets, I don't know, the film Cocktail vibes. He's giving like 80s neon synthwave. Yeah, this whole deck gives me like vaporwave vibes as well. And look at the heads on these like snail type heads or slug type heads on these people that are tied up again. Oh, it's so interesting. And then there's an inverted pentacle around the Devil's neck, and you know they're doing that sort of Baphomet as above so below thing, you know, with the hands up and one down. Okay, we have the Tower, which looks to be a great honking bit of rock getting lasered by, I don't know, the Death Star, I don't know. And all these like look like crows. They actually look quite like actual, just classic non-freakified crows falling. It makes me think of the laser that comes down from the spaceships in Independence Day. The Star card, my goodness. This deck is amazing. I can't even. water like flowing, not from jugs, but from, or pitchers or any other vessel, but from their hands. Look at all these like bubbly rainbow blobs, like bubblegum squishy. Ugh. The moon is just wild to me. So you have the crustacean, a wolf, a dog, and then the moon like sitting on the curve of the dog's tail. I remember this one. All sort of leaning on this very sort of loose, levitating structure, right? Which I guess would represent the towers. And then you have the water here at the bottom, and you have these faces in the landscape, almost like it's the giants sleeping, and they've slowly been, as they've slept for millennia, they've slowly gotten covered with silt and rock and rubble. Isn't it just so good? We have the sun, which does not have a baby on a horse. It has an elephant on what appears to be quite a My Little Pony-esque horse. And being a child of the 80s, I'm very much into this. This feels like the most Lisa Frank-esque one so far that I've seen. I didn't really see Lisa Frank stuff that much growing up. I think it was a very American thing. I think it sort of made its way more into like UK consciousness, or at least, I don't know, maybe it was just me where I grew up. More sort of, I guess, towards the noughties. I don't know. We have Judgment, which is really interesting in the sense that you've got this character. They are, you know, they're right up there. Usually you would have the person heralding the call with the trumpet or the bugle right at the top of the card and calling down, but here they are the main focus. They're playing this incredibly convoluted flower-esque trumpet. They have a really large ear. I wonder if the ear on the other side is as huge, but that's sort of like listening, I don't know. And then we've got all these eyes at the bottom, which are, I think, probably represent the people that are being sort of called up by judgment. That we would usually be represented by the people that are in, you know, in the coffins or the sarcophagi, in a classic judgment card. Okay, the world. We've got that typical sense of having the four suits and the four elements represented in each of the corners. We have our dancer with the batons. There's no wreath this time, and instead of ribbon we have a snake, which is doing double duty, because sometimes in world cards I've seen that the wreath is actually the Ouroboros, you know, the snail eating the snail. Could you imagine a snail trying to eat its own tail? The snake eating its own tail. And other times it's a wreath, right? Whereas this, it's sort of doing double duty of the wreath is it's the Ouroboros, and also that almost like that ribbon, and then also the hair is sort of taking place of the ribbon as well, sort of strategically wrapping around the dancer. And they're actually standing on this bull's head who doesn't look that, he looks nonplussed. He's like, yeah, okay, well, you can step on me, mummy. Which reminds me, who has seen the poster for Love Lies Bleeding? I mean, I've seen the trailer. I saw the trailer when it dropped last year, but the poster, they know what they're doing. They're taking that whole 80s muscle man thing and making like muscle mummy. And yes, you can step on me. I've been saying that since I saw the actress in, oh, what's her name? Katie something. Was it The Mandalorian, the most recent season of The Mandalorian, where she plays that. I don't want to give spoilers, but yeah. And I was like, oh my god, she's hot. Anyway, so we are now going into the wands, and this is where you'll see there's some of the suits have like the cards have quite a pippish quality to it, and so it doesn't feel as Smith weighty, but that's not a deal breaker for me. I actually quite like that, because I'm like, I can read that like pippish interpretation for these cards. So we have the Ace of Wands, but the wands is like breaking apart at the top there. The 2 is literally just 2 wands. Do you know what I mean? See, I don't know if these cards were created later in the project, because I can't see how you would get a Smith weight interpretation from this. I could just get a Pippish interpretation from this. Not necessarily a Marseille, because again, it would be a different, you know, with the Marseille, you've got the two ones crossed over, and you've usually got some other stuff going around with like floral work and stuff like that you can also interpret. Whereas this has been just sort of straight up like 2 wands. So you're getting like the 2 and the elemental association. I don't know. See, again, the 3. Okay, so we've got water in the background, but we don't have any ships, and there's nothing like overly surreal about this one. The 4, we have a nod to the castle and sort of the garlands around the 4 wands in the Smithwaite version. So this feels this feels more like, what's that, pips with feeling, that people call it. So this would put me in mind of something like the pagan otherworlds, where you've got, it's very Pippish, but you've still got these like nods to the Smithwaite going on in the background. This is the 5 of Wands, which feels like very much, again, you've got this sort of, they're crossing each other. There's a little bit of that idea of like combat or competition. But again, you know, not much else. We have the nod to the 6 with the victory with the wreath and the horsey corn, buggy, horsey, I don't even know, scorpion creature, which I love. But getting a bit more surreal here with the addition of this fantasy creature. This feels more Marseille to me for the 7 of Wands, because you've got the crossing, even though it's in a different layout to a Marseille, with the wands down the middle. But I don't know, maybe it's that defending. This one is defending against the others for that idea of the 7 in the Smithwaite. The 8 does feel Smithwaitey, because you do have just the 8 wands flying across the scene in the foreground. And then the 9, you've got that nod to sort of that last stand. But again, this is the thing. I like pip. It's not even I don't mind pip decks. I love pip decks and Marseille decks. If you watched my channel for any length of time over the last few years, you'll already know this about me. But I find it interesting. I think when we get to other suits, the difference in some of the depictions of the 1 through 10s. And then the 10, which is like a bundle of wands, and you can imagine someone being sort of weighed down by this bundle of wands. But again, it being a pip deck, it becomes more sort of capacious in its sort of snapshot of, of the 10 of wands. The courts in this. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands. They're like sitting in the back of the head of someone. They're holding a wand. The wand has a piece coming out of it here. And there's these like weird bubbly things coming out of the head. They've got like a lizard earring through their like stretched lobe. And rainbows and sparkles. But yeah, I'm interested that it's like someone sitting in a head, because for me, wands are like passion and fire and creativity and that kind of thing. And we've got, and also sometimes like work, especially for me, my work is creative work. I am an artist and maker, but this makes me think, if they're sitting in a head, makes me think of like air and wands. Air and swords, sorry. So I'll be interested to see if the artist actually switched the suits, which some people do. We have the Knight of Wands, which again, we have like some really jacked up bug horse lizard creature coming out of someone's head. I mean, she doesn't look too mad about it. And look at this little knight with like little fluffy cloud pauldrons, it seems. We have the Queen of Wands with these like cute flying lion creatures. What are those? I don't know. They're cute. Aren't they cute? Oh, beautiful. Look at her like elven shaped ear, the pointy ears. Oh, beautiful profile. Gorgeous. Stunning. She's got that, like, see the like lines on her skin there? It puts me in mind of like either the tattoo details of various like tribes and cultures around the world that use tattooing to denote certain things, whether spiritually or via sort of which tribe that they might belong to. But the first thing that actually came to mind for me was Nebula in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, where she has a lot of that, because she's sort of so put together and mechanized. She's sort of mostly robotic by the point we get to meet her, right, in the films at least, and she has those lines, and it's almost like where her face sort of splits open so you can like see the circuitry and stuff underneath. So it could be taken either way, but yeah, this being quite cyberpunky, my first thought would be like that kind of, are these seams, and can she like open up? And maybe actually looking at the head splitting of these other characters, are these also that like they if they were zipped back up, as it were, would this character have like a line down the front and this is the seam that they've opened from? I don't know, you could take it either way. Again, these little tiny details that you can read, maybe if she belongs to a particular like tribe in this world, in a particular clan, and you know, depending on what word you want to use, and they can anyway. I tend to use the word clan when I'm speaking about I'm distracting myself. Why am I distracting myself? Let's just look at the cards. I was just like, I'm stopping myself before I go down a rabbit hole. Look at me. Worry about it later. It's not to be talked about now. Okay, King of Wands. We have the salamander. We've got this rip-roaring lion. We've got, again, this sort of the wand down the middle and this crown, which is given little Loki vibes. It's given Sylvie, you know, from Loki vibes. The little crown. You just break off one of those little nubbins. Okay, now we're on to the swords. We have that double-bladed sword again. Come on. You've got the two different types of vegetation, but like different to what we would usually see, because this is fantasy vegetation. We've still got the yods as well. Can you see that? Oh God, look at that sword. We have the two, so we've got the crossed. So this is basically the Two of Swords, but minus the person holding them across them, and the element of them being blindfolded, which I think adds to the meaning of the card when you're seeing someone. If you're just seeing two swords, as opposed to seeing two swords being held by someone across their body, almost in a defensive mode and position, and they've got a blindfold on, that reads kind of different to just two swords crossed. We have the Three of Swords, which does nod very much to the original, with the original will probably be the Solar Busker, but you know what I mean, the original Smithwaite. We've got this eye in the middle though that's crying. I really like that. I like kind of obsessed with hearts, eyes in things, but yeah, I love it when you see eyes in hearts, and it's something that I've worked with over the years with my own artwork. Skulls and hearts and eyes and things. Okay, we have the Four of Swords. This idea maybe of rest. It looks like just like a still life though, doesn't it? That you would draw. Take away these three and it just looks like a still life draw, a painting that you do like at art class at school. Okay, we've got the Five of Swords. Interesting. We've got this butterfly sort of cut through with these swords, and then one sort of going down the back. Interesting interpretation. The Six, we have a nod to the boat going across the water, with these six swords being carried by this weird carnival ride swan thing. I love the colours. This camera isn't doing it justice. This is such a vibrant jade turquoise with jade. Oh, I just want to lick it. Like this deck's making my mouth water. Okay, we have the Seven of Swords. This little monkey, some kind of primate, up to something. Makes a change from it being a fox, I guess. When you see animals depicted with the Seven of Swords, it's very often a fox. We have the Eight of Swords. We have like this sort of falcon type character with the hood on. Eight of Swords. Oh no, hang on. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Yes, seven, Eight of Swords. So that would be the woman surrounded by the swords on the beach in the bay or whatever it is in the original. Losing track of which card I'm looking at. We've got the Nine of Swords. So that's what threw me off. I was like, hang on, this looks like the 9, and then I looked. It's because it's throwing me off because there's like slightly different weird numerals. But we've got this, you know, this 9 swords, like they would be above the bed. We've got this nods to like Dali with the like eyes, and it almost makes me think of like melting clocks. And there's some like Bosch vibes going on with this deck as well. Like it's amazing. And then we have the 10, which is this poor bug has been stabbed through. Poor baby. Oh my god, how am I at 40 minutes? Okay, let's speed it up. We have the Page of Swords. Bound up, sort of constructing some sort of passageway of steps across their face. That's interesting. The Knight of Swords shows another split head, and we've got, come on camera, we've got a butterfly winged horse and another, like, look at that bat wing sword. Oh my god. Look at the helm, it's got this weird like bubble detail going out the top. Wild. Oh, it's so strange. And the horse is like a snake horse. It's a snake horse or a serpent. Look at that, wrapping around. And oh, we have the Queen of Swords. See, she's got the markings as well, like the last queen. Are they like androids or something? I don't know. We have the King of Swords. We have a panther. It appears to be with a like lunar moth, maybe. Looks like a lunar moth. Sword. Lots of butterflies in this deck. And then we're on to the coins. So Ace of Coins. I love how the aces all have that like nod to the arch, but it's in the foreground rather than at the back. So I can hear my spouse cracking up laughing downstairs about something. I don't know if you can hear that. Look at this like eyeball again. Are things in eyeballs? I have like hair flowers that have eyeballs in them because yeah, why not? Ooh, the two of coins. Interesting, they're sort of growing into each other, so you're getting this balance of resources, balancing resources and sharing. That's interesting. We've got the 3, so we've got growth coming from these crystals. Come on. Come on. This camera is not great at focusing. I'll give up on that one. The 4 of coins. Interesting. Okay, so again, we've got like, this is more Pippish just generally than I remember it being. And actually I'm really excited because I'm like, I'm more likely just generally in the long run to work with it more regularly if it's a Pip or a Marseille deck. So I'm actually quite excited. I don't know why I thought that some of them were, maybe I was getting confused with the quartz. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we've got them like all bound up. There's like this mossy green, thick green stuff, and then it's all bound up with like what looks like to be lilies, calla lilies, and oh, Very cool. Clinging on and like hanging on these vines, almost like, or maybe like these vines are trying to like pull it back to like take hold of the resources. The 5 of coins. Interesting. We've got a snowy landscape. We've got some sort of pine trees in the background, snow frosted pine trees or fern trees, and then we've got fern trees. That's not a word. Ferns, not ferns. Fir trees. F-I-R. Brain. And we've got like the northern lights, the aurora borealis type situation going on at the background there. But I'm not necessarily getting the classic Smith-Waite meaning from this. Do you see what I mean? But again, that doesn't bother me because I like pip decks. But if I had bought this deck under the understanding that it was going to be a Smith-Waite reader, I might have been disappointed. If I was someone who didn't read with pips and Marseille, generally as a rule, given not the last few months notwithstanding, generally as a rule, like more than any other deck, types of decks or any other system. So yeah, I find that interesting. So we have the 6 of coins, which would usually be sort of the person giving the handing out the resources, with the weighing scales, handing out the money to the people. It's again slightly more open to interpretation here. This one, I feel I can see that Smith-Waite where you've got the person for the 7 resting, waiting for their, like just taking a break from the gardening, from tending to the plants to tending to the resources, to their work. That I can see that more here. We have the 8, which again I wouldn't necessarily see a Smith-Waite vibe. This is very different to a Smith-Waite depiction of the 8 of coins or the 8 of pentacles. The 9, I can definitely see. Instead of the woman in the garden, we do have the bird with the hood, a stylized hood. We've got the grapes, the abundance, you know, the vines growing up or the plants growing up there. So there's a nod to that. Again, a bit more sort of Smith-Waite there. The 10 is interesting, and I like this because we don't, you know, the 10 of cups and the, we haven't got to the 10 of cups yet, but the 10 of cups and the 10 of coins in, or 10 of pentacles in a Smith-Waite have a very sort of, they both feel quite similar to me, and they both sort of depict a classic idea of like a cis-het family structure, and what the idea of success is, whereas this sort of just is a bit more open. Again, we've got like a almost bonsai-esque tree, with the money tree, I guess, money bonsai tree, sort of growing and fruiting, abundance. Now we go on to the page. We have the page of coins. Sort of like flowers and fungi. The knight, this time not coming out of a split head, but sitting on I don't know, is it a sculpture made out of heads or is it actual heads? Who knows with this deck? But we've got like a camel-esque or llama-esque looking character that's very cute. And this this knight, and all the knights have like, so far, this is the 3rd one that we've looked at, has like breast cups on their armor. Make of that what you will when it comes to like armory. As a stylistic choice at least, so it makes it seem that the knights are either femme presenting or have sort of breasts underneath. You know, not everyone that has breasts are femme presenting, obviously, or identify as you know, female. Queen of coins. Oh wow, I love the headdress with the wings and the stars and the coins. This one, she doesn't have the markings on her face or her body anywhere. It's beautiful though. God, This artwork. If you've never heard of this artist before, I will link all of her information in the description box. If you like this artwork, even if you wouldn't necessarily buy it as a deck, but would buy like, she does loads of other art. She does whacking great, beautiful, like oil paintings of all sorts of things. And I guess if she's not going to be selling stuff going forward, I don't know if she's going to be selling what she's got left or if she's just wrapping it up this year at some point, and you want prints of her stuff, I think like now is going to be the chance, the point to do it before it's too late. We have the 10 of coins, the King of Coins, another split head here, some kind of tiger or big cat, the grapes again. Interesting. Okay, and the final suit we're on to, this is going to be like a whole hour long video. We have the Ace of Cups, the dove looks like more sort of fishy. We've got the 2 of Cups. Look at the cat angel. And these like seahorse type characters. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Gives me slightly more Marseille vibes as well, even that, yeah, just the 3, which is look like oxalotl type characters. Oh my god, I love oxalotls, they're so cute. I love them. Although I feel sad that people keep keeping them as pets. I feel like that's probably not a good idea. I don't know. But they're so cute. We have the 4 of Cups. With this like fawn asleep on a pillar. I don't know if I quite get sort of that celebratory type vibe from this. It looks like they're about to like chuck this drink over this sleeping fawn minding its own business, but I don't know. Be interesting to do a deep dive with this. I actually just this morning finally got around to watching Laura at Aquamarine 18's Tarot and Books video about what they mean when they talk about deep diving a deck, and like giving some really great ideas on how you would go about that. Well worth checking out. I'll see if I can remember to link that down below as well. So we have, what are we on? We're on the 5 of Cups. So I guess this is the sulky crow. Other than a sulky person maybe. Oh my goodness, yes, I remember this card. The 6 of Cups. We've got some trolls. We've got some trolls. Who used to collect trolls? I used to collect trolls, the ones with the gems in their body, and I used to have some of those really older, like really uglier, like way uglier trolls, not the cutified ones, like the more like Scandi ones. I had a couple of those, but a lot of them I had to get like secondhand or hand-me-downs, and sometimes I would find them in the bins of like charity shops, but their hair would be all like matted and stuff because they were secondhand, but I'd like try and rescue them. Oh man, I've forgotten about trolls. Again, that makes me think of Guardians of the Galaxy with the troll, the little troll thing. If you know, you know. Okay, we're on to the 7 of Cups. This is pretty self-explanatory for a Smithway. We've got the 7 Cups and we have all the different options. Again, the poison element has been taken out of the card and we're just getting the cups. The 8 of Cups, again, the person element has been removed, but we have these cups with one upside down, and the mountains and the water and the moonlight. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I know some people really dislike faces in their suns and moons. I actually actively like them. We've got the 10. He's even wearing the same kind of hat that you see in the Smithway with that like smug looking guy. But look how happy this rodent type character is. I don't know. They're so happy. And then we have the 10, which again is a bit more open to interpretation than like a traditional Smithway, which I really enjoy. We've just got this one creature, we just have this one fish leaping up out of the water, and this rainbow and this cups, and it's all sparkly and beautiful. Okay, last lot of courts, we have the Page of Cups, who has a rainbow laser eyes. Yes. Oh, I think she might be my favourite page, and she's like hugging all the like fish to her. Oh no, the fish are coming out of her, look. I never realised that before. Whenever I've seen this card, I thought that like, she was hugging the fish to her. Look at her hair. She's got like rainbow like extension pieces in her hair. Yes. Yes. Knight of Cups. Always stepping on faces or coming out of faces. Here we have this sort of face in the water, and then we've got this like hippo. I mean, yes, please. Hippos are cute, but they will fuck your shit up. You don't want to be anywhere near them. That jaw, the jaw strength alone, and they can run really fast. They look cute. They are so dangerous. There are like more deaths per year attributed to hippos than there are to sharks, and I think it's like a vastly big difference in number. See, people, they look at the shark and they go, no thank you, but the sharks are less likely to attack you than a hippo. I think people are more likely to also try and approach a hippo because they're cute. That's how they get you, you see. Like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, when it's like, it's just a cute little guy, and then it's like, and then he did. So, Queen of Cups. She looks a little mardy, like she looks a little, maybe her face is very relaxed and her eyes look quite sleepy, but I can't tell if it's just that she's relaxed or she looks like she's done with your bullshit, right? Which I quite like, because a lot of the time the Queen of Cups has that, like, she's so soft and she's so sensitive and she's so, like, she's more emotional because it's the cups and it's water. But actually here, this is the queen and she is in charge of her emotions. She's been through all of the bullshit of the suit and the page and the knight, and she knows she's in command of her emotions, and she is not impressed with you. No. Not impressed. Okay, we have the King of Cups. Again, we've got another kitty cat. By kitty cat, I mean big cat, which seems to be a thing for the kings. A thing for the king. And we've got more fishy wishies, which make fishy wish. Fishes, because water. And then we have two more cards at the end. We have the Patron. And I can't tell if this is meant to be a mirror or a portal. I guess maybe both, because mirrors are said to be portals. I love the little bat at the top. I actually would love this mirror just in my house, instead of the plain framed mirror I have here that's attached to part of the built-in closet I have that I keep my clothes in. If I can make it extra like this. And then we have the Maker, which I guess is sort of the self-insert in a sense. This doesn't look, I don't know, does it look like the artist? So sort of self-insert. We're just having a maker in there, which I appreciate. This card, I don't, this makes sense, right? Because you have the artist and the patron, right? I don't know if I would keep the patron card in unless I was doing a very specific reading about my creative work. But I would I think I will be keeping the maker card in just all the time, because I would see this as my significator as an artist and maker. I am so impressed. I love it. I remember it being less pippish than it is, and I'm so glad that it is pippish. Like I said, if you are buying this expecting a much more Smith-Waite deck, you might be disappointed. But I'm not. I'm actually more happy. I'm more happy than I thought I would be. It does riffle. It's gonna take a wee bit, I think, to get the cardstock softened up a bit. So I'll probably keep this one on my desk, because I usually have at least one deck on my desk, at least one, that I can just sort of shuffle with when I'm playing D&D, just to keep my hands busy, or when I'm just, when I just pull some cards whilst I'm at my desk. So this will probably be the deck that I keep on for the next week or two. On saying that, I do plan to read with this maybe through February. Now that I've bought it, I think this might be like my February deck. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy to have it. I didn't know if I would ever own it, if I'd ever buy it or be able to buy it, and I'm so glad that I have. I'm excited to have a look at the book. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm definitely going to be making a pouch for this one. I'm going to do something kitschy and very pink. I'm very excited. So thank you so much if you were watching this video. If you have watched this video, listen to this video. What do you think of this deck? Is it a yay or a nay for you? Do you already own this deck? And if you do, I'd be really interested to know if you've actually sort of, because I could see how this might be a little bit intimidating if you have actually worked with it, and if you have, how you're finding that it's reading for you. Are you reading it, and also are you reading it as a Smith-Waite, reading it more pippish, or like a combination? I don't know. I'm really interested to know how people are finding this deck, because although I've watched a couple of walkthroughs, I think I watched Logan at Larkin Legends, and I think I watched a walkthrough way back when the Kickstarter rewards were like shipping out and people were doing videos. I think I watched one then. So and those were, I think, at least one of those was just an unboxing, so they hadn't worked with it yet. So I'm interested to see now. I will probably go back onto YouTube and start looking at how this see if people have done videos on how this reads for them. What I think will be an interesting thing to do, this is going to be one of the decks I want to work with in 2024, along with the other decks that I spoke about in that video. I made 10 decks for 2024, it's now at least 11, is to come back later in the year, at the end of the year, and talk about how these decks have worked out for me. I've been reading with the Fyodor Pavlov Tarot all month. I didn't intend to read with it for the whole month, but I've really enjoyed it. I've combined it with the Literary Witches Oracle, and it's just been such a beautiful combination. I've really gotten a lot out of these two decks together, and I'm just loving the Fyodor Pavlov. It's such a beautiful deck, but it seems to read so easily for me. I remember the other Smith-Waite deck that I think of, the other two Smith-Waite decks, sorry, that come to mind when I think that they just read so perfectly and easily for me, are probably like my Magical Forest, but also like the my Morgan Greer Tarot in a Tin. For some reason, as soon as I got those decks, they just really spoke to me. Anyway, I'm gonna go because this is like over an hour long, but like I said before I started waffling on again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. As Lux Strata from the Lux Occult podcast says, that time is the only zero-sum game that we play in life, in fact. And so she always says that she is incredibly, or they, I'm not sure of their pronouns, appreciate you spend them, you know, listeners spending time listening to the podcast. And same here, if you've listened, watched and or listened, I'm always a bit bewildered, but I'm also incredibly appreciative. I hope that wherever you are watching or listening to this, that you are safe and that you are well, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.